Hey, what's up? Shackman here with a quick update on my potato sci-fi game, which is actually getting closer to the finish line. And the trick is I just moving the finish line closer to me, right? Of course, I'm trying to work on it a little bit every day, but you know how it is. Everyone's always too busy, right? Including myself. And just try not to say, "Oh, I'm the most busy one," because that's what everyone else is saying. But anyhow, point is, right? I can work on this thing full time right now. But yeah, so I need to be very strategic to get this thing out the door. And just like I said in the last video, if it doesn't feel too simple, then it's definitely not simple enough. And I noticed the same is kind of true. If I'm not constantly killing off features, then I'm definitely not killing off enough features. Or rather, like it really has to hurt. If it's just like, yeah, I feel really good, this one feature, yeah, maybe do that later. Like, no, that's not enough. Because that's what I've been doing the past few years, and that clearly has not worked out. At least not to get things out the door. And so I just basically used the chainsaw, shotgun, whatever you want to call it, and just one feature after another, just killing it off. And I'm now stuck with a bunch of potatoes and a bunch of these things. I might even see like there used to be a different machine here, which well, unfortunately I baked the shadows in Substance Painter, so shouldn't have done that early. But yeah, also shouldn't have worked on the UI. That's completely changed because, well, I changed the game design too, right? Uh, the generators had like 3 different stages. Now they only have one stage. There used to be random number generator in there. Now they don't have that. It's really just go from point A to point B and have some cool effects. But one thing that I did that I think was quite worth the extra effort was creating a tool to drive these effects. Let me see if I check particle effects here. Yeah, that's the one. So I have these scriptable objects here that are holding basically just a bunch of data of like a name and then a curve and some values that I want to use the curve to remap it. And I use these to drive properties of a material. And this way I can, well, for one, I can use curves, which I think is quite a shame that ShaderGraph, neither Amplify Shader Editor has curves, because they're so useful to just remap values, right, to effects, animations, everything. And so here I can like kind of like preview what the effect's gonna look like. Right, it's gonna start with a sphere, and then this is where they're gonna end, and anything in between. Then I can use these in between, right? Which value am I going to use to drive each property? And since this is a scriptable object, it's super easy to just create new ones, duplicate ones, play around with a few. Some might have different values here that I want to change. And of course, at the same time, I keep working on the shader itself, like finding more interesting things that I can drive here. Right, so for example, let's see, I don't want to change this one. Let's see this one. Okay, so maybe I have this one here, right? The colors aren't the best. I can, of course, always change some values in the shader directly. That's not the material. Let's see, stabilizer. Okay, project, click stabilizer, lock it, select this one, and here. Okay, that's the material. Main color, maybe it should be blue, green. No, not green and purple. It's kind of really don't like that. I don't know. Green, nice green. But maybe it's more like green and yellow. No, that's ugly. It's too much HDR. Okay, now I have green and purple. It's exactly what I want to avoid. But yeah, I can change it like this, right? And I might say here, so this is what I want it to look like in the end. And I say, maybe look to just Y rotation. I want it to be more fuzzy. And I can change the radius here, I think somewhere, sphere radius. Oh, that's the circle radius, interesting. Doing things like that, and then I can see what I want it to look like in the middle. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so this is definitely, I think, a really cool tool to just find like lots and lots of cool effects. And yeah, I'm using this thing everywhere basically, right? So let's see, here I have another one. Unlock this. Potatoes. here I'm using it for these wheels, and I can drive all these kinds of effects and different textures. Let's see, I have Potato 03. I think this one looked kind of cool. Let's see, this one was a bit... Totally forgot what I had here. Oh yeah, that's way too trippy. So I'm trying to avoid things that are too trippy. I think just a little bit like this, right? And let's see, what material is that? Well, and then I can just go in here and change like maybe the textures. I have lots and lots of cool textures I created with. Kind of got a bit addicted, to be honest, to AI art, creating circular black and white textures. Like once you get started, it's a lot of fun. But now I have a lot of cool circles that I can drop in here. Let me show you. Yeah, I tried it. It got like a really interesting challenge. Like, what could I let like tell the AI to create like cool textures? Right? I can just drop them here. Did that work? Wait, that was the texture. Wow. Okay. Hit the one that was already in there. You know, some more stylized. I think they might look cool. And then of course I have these things here, right? Drive the wobble. And as I said, I don't want to get things too trippy, so I'll try not to do it like that. Wobble speed, maybe even, no, that's too much. Wobble scale, have like big ones, and the strength, and it will be more like this, or this one. I never tried this. Yeah, I have a lot of textures, I just never tried. Just put like tons and tons in there, and just try them out. Of course, this one can rotate too. And here too, yeah, okay, once again, it's a little bit too trippy. And then of course I also have background texture, right? For here I just use just normal procedural textures that can be tiled. Maybe this one, maybe the gradient is too much. And of course this one also has like this VFX controller, so I can drive all these values like quite dynamically with curves. Yeah, so that's basically the state of the game right now, like highly simplifying it. But my point is just getting this thing like out the door, and then I can still work on like cool effects, right? And just can update this thing. Okay, so thanks for watching and goodbye.